Could it have been that Richard was actually older than he claimed? As the rumors intensified, Richard was forced to take a steroid test and a bone age test to determine his true age. The results dumbfounded the critics.
I had 3 tests on drugs and 1 test on bone age, and I passed them all. It's just perfect. When people say that I take drugs and assume that I take drugs, I'm upset about that. They assume that I take drugs because they don't know another way how I can train to get my body at such a young age.
Despite Richard passing the tests, Frank still had concerns about the mystery powder Richard was being fed, and decided to take extreme measures to find out what was in it. During a promotional trip to New York, he confronted the only man who had the answer.
I told the father, when we get back to Los Angeles, I want you to take a polygraph test. There's some specific questions I want to ask you, and I need to get to the bottom of this. And he said, Richard can do the polygraph test, and you can ask him. And I said, no, because Richard has no idea what he's taking. He has no idea what you're giving him. You just tell him to eat this and take this, and he does what he's told. You know what this stuff is, and we need to find out what it is, because I don't want to have the death of this child on my hands. And if I still at that point feel that you're not being honest, just as fast as I created little Hercules, I'm going to put a stop to it. And the father politely told me, if you do any of the stuff that you say you're going to do, I will kill you.
No closer to clarifying what Richard was being fed, and unable to continue a working relationship with Pavel, Frank and Sherry were keen to distance themselves from little Hercules.
Just as I had Richard's career booming, and within a week's period, I put a stop to every bit of it.
Richard's career was unraveling just as fast as it was made, and with Pavel having no job of his own, and Richard the only breadwinner, the family were left under serious financial pressure. As the situation worsened, Pavel turned to drink and spiraled out of control, often taking his anger out on his family.
Anything could make my husband angry. Even if he never drank before, he just started to drink like 2 years ago, but before could be such a small thing. So he'd come home and he would get his anger on somebody else's shoulder, me or children. Over the years it did get worse and worse. Worst situation was my husband broke my wrist and broke my nose. And then I decided that enough is enough. I had to do something to protect me and my children from him.
On the 1st of April 2003, Pavel threatened to take the lives of his wife and 2 children. But his violent streak was to come to an abrupt end, thanks to the quick thinking of his 10-year-old son.
Richard was very smart to call police and tell them to come very quiet without any sirens or light, because he knew his dad. It could be dangerous. My son saved my life, and police came and they took my husband away.
Following a plea bargain, Pavel Sandrak was convicted of assaulting his wife, and he's currently serving 3 years in a state prison. The career of little Hercules appeared to be over. But in Hollywood, dreams are never washed away. Following her divorce, Lena, Richard and Anastasia are now living with Richard's new manager.
Hey Andrew, it's Marco. I have a loan for you on one of my properties. I need about $275,000.
For the last 6 months, property developer Marco Garcia has been supporting Richard's dreams of stardom. After giving him a 2-month break from his training, Marco now invests over $4,000 a month in financing Richard's development.
I decided to give Richard a break from his training routine because I really wanted him to be a kid. I wanted him to enjoy the things a kid enjoys. Even though I knew that he could lose some muscle tone, that didn't matter because I wanted him to have fun. And, you know, he went out with me, he ate at all types of restaurants. He tried all types of food. And you can tell he gained a little bit of weight, but that's okay. He's working very hard now to burn that off. The fact that he was a little Hercules and the strongest kid in the world and ripped the way he was did get us in the door. But remember, that's not all he is right now. He's a lot more than that. And that's really what I'm selling.
Marco has already developed one movie project for Richard and shot a trailer highlighting his martial arts skills in the hope of securing finance from a Hollywood studio.
One building, 13 floors, 13 challenges, and one boy who must defeat them all in order to save his sister and maybe the world. The 13th floor, coming soon.
Now Marco is trying again with a new project, Tiny Tarzan. This time he's collaborated with John Travolta's brother, Joey, who will direct a test shoot with Richard in a few days' time.
The first time that I saw Richard or heard of him, I'd seen an article in People magazine, and I always thought, you know, this kid could be a franchise, could be a TV series, or, you know, an action star type thing. And when I met Marco, I said, you know what, let's try to develop something, you know, for Richard. And we came up with the concept of Tiny Tarzan. My name is Joey Travolta. I am the producer-director. We'll go around the room and introduce ourselves. Go ahead.
I'm Harrison McCoy, and I'll be playing Biju.
With the trailer shoot fast approaching, Joey has organized a read-through of the script.
Hey, I'm Richard Sandrak, and I'm reading Baby Tarzan and Regular Tarzan.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Giorgio, and I'm reading Jane.
In order to make the read-through more authentic, Richard is accompanied by his co-star.
Oh, the chimp is amazing. He is a very, very smart chimp. He's already a star. He's already starred in a couple films already. He's got a 3-picture deal, and he's already a star. He's done a lot of work. He's a professional.
Cheetah carries Tarzan to the group of chimps and grabs a piece of fruit from Kong. Tarzan eats the fruit. Kong stares at Cheetah and Tarzan before letting out a scream.
Richard's physique has gotten him to where he is. If he doesn't have the acting chops, it's not going to happen for him. So that's up to me as a director to bring it out of him, and I think he has it. If he just had the physique, I wouldn't be interested in doing business with him.
As the chimps grunt, so does Tarzan.
It's very satisfying to see this project come to life. And with a rerun, it allows us to look at every character and see how they interact and see how they work together. It's coming across very, very well. I'm very satisfied.
To help promote Richard as Tiny Tarzan, Marco has arranged for a photo shoot down at LA's famous Muscle Beach. But before the session begins, we're reminded of Richard's junior celebrity status.
They call you Hercules or what?
Little Hercules. I'd rather be called Richard.
Hey, what's your diet, man? What do you eat? Yeah.
30% protein, 40% carbs, and 30% of fats.
Dang. What are you, man? Some kind of weightlifter?
Yeah, I lift weights.
Oh my God, man, it's all an idiot.
Lots of people will come over and like try to touch my abs and my muscles, check if it's fake or not. I remember one time a guy tried to pull it off and check if it was real.
Okay, go in there. Okay, now look at, turn around. That's beautiful, just like that.
We're having a photo shoot here for Richard for his Tiny Tarzan trailer. We're going to use these pictures in these one sheet that we're going to be presenting to the networks and to the executives. We're investing a lot of time and a lot of money to get these packages done professionally. So when we present them to the network, they take them seriously, and we get to showcase Richard's talents and Richard's physique.
Nice. I want him to be real, and I want to capture his spirit, you know. You know, I see how he moves, like I saw it right there, you know, you'll see it on the picture. The eyes are the windows to the soul, tells everything.
With the photo session almost over, everything is now ready for the filming of the trailer. But the big question remains, has Richard done enough to transform himself from little Hercules into Hollywood's next action hero.